December 6th, 1917. A quiet Thursday morning in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Kids were on their way to school. Shopkeepers unlocked their doors. And two ships, one late, one loaded, approached each other in the narrows of Halifax Harbor. One of them was packed with enough explosive material to rival a nuclear bomb. And nobody, not the crews, not the city, had any idea what was about to happen. The first ship, SS Emo, a Norwegian relief vessel, steel-hulled, impatient, and running behind schedule. The second, SS Mont-Blanc, a French munitions cargo ship. On paper, it was just another wartime supply vessel. In reality, it was a floating bomb. Its manifest included 2,300 tons of picric acid, 200 tons of TNT, 10 tons of gun cotton, 35 tons of benzol, and barrels of high-octane fuel stacked near the deck. That cargo was so volatile, but the Mont Blanc wasn't even flying a warning flag, a wartime measure to avoid making itself a target for German U-boats. So there it sat, quietly lethal, sliding toward the Emo on a collision course. The harbor had narrow rules, literally. It was designed for ships to pass safely, but required clear right-of-way behavior. Emo, impatient and improperly positioned, ignored those conventions. Mont Blanc signaled, "Turn starboard." Emo signaled back, "Nope, you turn." They both turned, and turned again. Wrong directions, wrong assumptions, then contact. At slow speed, Emo scraped across Mont Blanc's bow. Metal tore open benzol barrels. Sparks flew. The flammable vapors ignited almost instantly. The flames crawled across Mont Blanc's deck. The crew knew what was coming. They abandoned ship immediately, shouting warnings, but no one understood. There was no explosion yet, just a burning ship slowly drifting towards Pier 6. People gathered on shore and at windows. They were curious. The ship fire wasn't unheard of. Some even watched with children in their arms. No one understood they were standing in the kill zone of 13,000 pounds of TNT and chemical agents. 9:04:35 a.m. Mont Blanc exploded. It didn't just detonate, it disintegrated. The blast released an energy force equal to about 2.9 kilotons of TNT, created a pressure wave that flattened buildings for over a mile, killed nearly 2,000 people instantly, injured more than 9,000, blinded hundreds, many children watching from windows. It was so powerful, rail cars were picked up and thrown like toys. A tsunami swept through the harbor minutes later. Windows shattered 50 miles away. The explosion was heard in Cape Breton, over 170 miles distant. One piece of the Mont Blanc, its 1,100-pound anchor shaft, was hurtled 2.35 miles inland. In seconds, Halifax was unrecognizable. Entire neighborhoods were erased. Fires raged through the rubble. The injured flooded makeshift hospitals. Survivors wandered days through icy streets. And then, a snowstorm hit, trapping everyone in the wreckage. But out of the horror came extraordinary humanity. First responders from nearby towns raced in. The city of Boston sent a relief train loaded with doctors and supplies, earning Halifax's gratitude forever. They still send Boston a Christmas tree every year. Disaster response systems were overhauled. forever changing how we plan for mass emergencies. New laws were enacted for the transport of hazardous cargo. The Halifax explosion was a tragedy, but it became a case study in disaster preparedness, trauma response, and the high cost of silence and delay. It wasn't a war. It wasn't a terrorist plot. It wasn't even sabotage. It was a small, preventable collision between two ships in a narrow harbor. And because one of them was hiding a deadly secret, a city was blown apart. All from a spark, on a boat, in a harbor, on a quiet December morning. So here's an ounce. Never assume small means safe. When things are fragile and the stakes are high, even a little spark can erase a skyline. That's it, an ounce, submitted for your consideration. So, next time you see Boston's Christmas tree from Halifax, just know it was paid for in blood, fire, and 2.9 kilotons of regret. Why don't you like, subscribe, and share this episode? And let us know if you're aware of any other amazing events that are worthy of an ounce. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks.